Hypothetically, if a man were to kick out his 8-month pregnant girlfriend and unborn daughter to then be on Hinge the very next day looking for women to have fun with, you know, hypothetically, you would not think that that type of man is a good man or a good father. You would probably not think that that type of man has integrity or morals or any form of decency, right?
A few moments later.
I just truly think it's time that people stop blaming women for the partners they choose and start blaming the partners for pretending to be something that they're not.
Nope.
And I've been trying to tell y'all about these fucking athletes. I've been trying to tell y'all about these fucking athletes. These niggas can't be trusted.
And this is why sometimes I think women's intuition is a scam. Because women will constantly talk about women's intuition, but then end up getting played by niggas like this. Bruh. And then want to come on social media and just share all of their business when nobody needed to know this stuff because nobody asked. And then you want to talk about, oh, stop telling women to choose better. No. Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is your man, Brandon Gio, one half of Residual Impact. Hey, yo, check it. I wanted to react to this situation after I initially saw it go viral because it popped up on my TikTok feed when I was just scrolling one day. But I'm like, you know what? So much has unfolded from this, so I didn't want to go and unpack it all by myself, which is what I normally do. However, I did see one of my favorite creators tackle this situation on YouTube, and we're going to talk about it after we take a look at what it is that she had to say and just watch as she broke it down from beginning to the end. But the full video will be linked down below in the description. So after you're done watching our video, please be sure to check out the video from the original creator and let her know that Residual Impact sent you. All right? This video is from none other than RivahTV. So let's get into it.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I'm back again with another video. So this woman has come to the internet to expose her ex-boyfriend / her baby daddy. Baby daddy in question is actually NFL player Fred Johnson from the Eagles. And basically, she took to social media to kind of like expose that he dumped her, he put her out, he already talking to new girls. And when she put this stuff on the internet, women actually did the opposite of maybe what she thought that they were going to do, and they actually didn't defend her. They actually held her accountable for the situation. So we're going to go ahead and press play, pause play, and then of course I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my feelings, and my opinion on this entire situation.
Just a quick question. Hypothetically, if a man were to kick out his 8-month pregnant girlfriend and unborn daughter to then be on Hinge the very next day looking for women to have fun with, you know, hypothetically, you would not think that that type of man is a good man or a good father. You would probably...
Well, hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna let her finish, but him not wanting to be with you don't necessarily have anything to do with his connection with the child.
She's right. Just because he's having a problem with her, his baby mama, doesn't mean that he has an issue with the child. Granted, once the baby is born, he might willingly be there for his daughter, to love her, care for her, support her, help take care of her, whatever the case may be. Because if that is his daughter, she is half of him. And this is why I tend to get on a lot of you guys, man. First of all, I don't see a ring on her finger, which I get it. Not everybody believes in marriage. But one thing that we are lacking in our community specifically are strong 2-parent households between a married father and a married mother, a married husband, a married wife, 2 married parents. Again, I get it. Not all of you guys believe in marriage, but I strongly do. And I'm sure a lot of you gentlemen who watch our videos are marriage minded. So
don't have unprotected sex with people you don't see a future with.
I definitely want you fellas to keep that in mind as we continue watching this. He didn't propose to her, but he saw fit to knock her up. That's his bad, but it's also her bad for letting him do it. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. If you guys have made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss when we upload a new video for you. Make sure you guys leave a thumbs up. It's completely free and it goes a long way.
Also, don't forget to leave a comment because we like to hear from y'all. We want to know what y'all think. Is the video good? Does it suck? Did you learn something from it? Just say hello. Put a smiley face. I don't care. Just write something. Interact. Communicate. We like those things.
Now back to the video.
We're going to start there, but I'm going to let her continue.
Not think that that type of man has integrity or morals or any form of decency, right? Because I'm just trying to see if we're all on the same page. And furthermore, hypothetically, if these women were to be aware of the fact that hypothetically this man has an 8-month pregnant, now ex-girlfriend, and child on the way, and still decides to want to speak to and have fun with him, hypothetically, you would think that that kind of woman also has absolutely no respect for herself, no integrity, no morals, and no decency.
Again, not necessarily. Okay, again, not necessarily. And I'm going to give you guys the breakdown why as we continue, but I'm going to let her finish.
Hypothetically. So, if hypothetically those situations were true, those would be some pretty people, in my opinion. But I was just wondering what you guys think. I just truly think it's time.
So before we get into her second video, okay, let's just talk about exactly what happened at hand in the first conversation. So obviously she's talking about herself, right? And she's saying that she's 8 months pregnant. They broke up. He put her out. And, you know, immediately after that, he started to talk to some other people on, you know, a dating app called Hinge. And obviously she found out they had a very public relationship. And so she's, you know, basically saying like these girls knew what they were getting themselves into. And, you know, she's basically just talking about like their integrity and, you know, how bad it is of these people. Now, I have to say, context to these conversations absolutely matter because we see, okay, NFL player Stephon Diggs having baby after baby after baby. And if we're going to hold any women accountable for talking to a man that has another girl pregnant, we need to have the same exact smoke for Cardi B.
That bitch, that my baby dad too, girl. Well, what now? I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm just saying, like, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about it because he had women who were 8 months, 9 months pregnant while he was parading around town with her and y'all were supporting it. So is it wrong or is it not wrong? Right? Like we can't pick and choose just because it's happening maybe in this kind of scenario, you know, to this woman. We can't pick and choose and say what's right or what's wrong. That's the first thing.
Stephon Diggs has had one of the busiest years of any male celebrity. The athlete started off the year with one child, a 9-year-old daughter named Nova, and ended 2025 with almost enough kids to start a basketball team. Stephon Diggs with 3 newborn babies in 2025.
Now, real quick, I know she mentioned Stephon and Cardi. This is just a common situation when it comes to a lot of these baby mama, baby father dynamics. And we've talked about Stephon and Cardi before, but let's continue.
Second thing, I kind of find very often that women love to talk about how a man is not a good father because the relationship with the child's mother ends. Like the two of them don't necessarily have anything to do with one another, right?
Just a quick question. Hypothetically, if a man were to kick out his 8-month pregnant girlfriend and unborn daughter to then be on Hinge the very next day looking for women to have fun with, you know, hypothetically, you would not think that that type of man is a good man or a good father.
Now, after she posted the original video, she ended up having to turn her comments off because women were going off on her. Okay, so much so that she had to then make this follow-up video, basically kind of like defending herself and calling out the women who were calling her out. Crazy.
That people stop blaming women for the partners they choose and start blaming the partners for pretending to be something that they're not. I am so used to people's judgments and opinions and whatever they want to say about what I share on the internet. But what I've realized is that there are so many people quick to say, well, what did you do in the situation? Or you knew what you were getting yourself into, or you know who you picked. And that's not true.
Now we're going to have to hold on for a second. Okay. And the reason why she is getting said backlash is because a couple of months ago, okay, so I want you guys to stay with me. A couple months ago, she was on the internet basically giving women dating advice, right? And like, oh, if this man don't ask you to be his girlfriend, then, you know, basically it's going to be your fault if you get your feelings hurt because he don't have any loyalty to you.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but if a man has not explicitly asked you to be his girlfriend, that is not your man. Well, you know, you'll cook for him, clean for him, stay at his house, sleep with him, da 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 da. You do all of that for a man that has not asked you to be his girlfriend. What is incentivizing him to ask you? Because he can have his cake and eat it too in this situation, right?
Now, let me tell you something that's very interesting. Okay? A couple of months after that, she was parading around social media with Fred, you know, her and him doing like, you know, outfits and stuff like that on vacation. The two of them like spending time together. And then she posted this video. The caption of the video says, "In your I'm just single for a while era, you will get invited to a wedding as a +1. It is very important that you go to that wedding." So she is making it be known that she was single, okay, got invited to a wedding, and at that wedding, she ended up meeting Fred.
Which is common. That happens quite often, where a lot of people who end up being in relationships tend to meet somebody at a wedding. In fact, that was almost me at one wedding that I went to a few years ago, and I met a girl there, and I thought that I was going to start dating her, but I didn't pursue. We ended up keeping in touch though. We exchanged information. We ended up keeping in touch afterwards, but I didn't bother pursuing because of reasons. And I'm not going to go into detail about those reasons because some people who are watching this might figure out who exactly it is that I'm talking about. And I don't need that to happen. So I say all of that to say, yo, there's some of y'all who are watching and you're absolutely striking out in the dating market and you want to find somebody, you know, that you might want to meet in person because you tired of dating on the apps or whatever the case may be. First of all, you know my stance on singles events. I don't really care for them. Done a couple different videos on those, and usually the type of men that go to singles events are the type of men that have to be there, especially if it's a speed dating event. But hey, you want to meet somebody, most likely of quality, fellas, get invited to a wedding. All right. See which one of your friends around you are getting married, which one of your cousins around you are getting married. Make sure it's somebody about your age, obviously. And then, yeah, I'm sure you'll meet some great women at a wedding because the bride will most likely have some fine friends in the building. And you better believe some of them are going to be single. But let's continue.
Okay. Now, just keep in mind all of the dating advice that she was just giving. Okay, girlfriend treatment, this and that, and you gonna do all this stuff, and you know, basically, why would he buy the cow if he can get the milk for free? Remember all that advice that she was giving? Okay, in the comment sections of that same exact post, there was this comment that popped up. It says, "Wait, I think it was my wedding you're talking about. We could not be happier for you and Fred." To which the woman in this video responded and said, "Yes, it was such a beautiful night and you were the most beautiful bride." Now, the wedding she attended was for Buccaneers football player number 60, Michael Jordan, and his wife. Okay, now I want you guys to stick with me. She made that post about, you know, he can have his cake and eat it too and all that kind of stuff in April. That wedding actually also happened in April. So while she was giving these women advice, she also ended up just, you know, happened by happenstance meeting Fred, okay, at the wedding. When she put, "Oh, it's very important that you answer that," or whatever the case is, that was around December, okay? Same time, she made another post saying that it's going from 2 to 3 in the 2026 new year. This would mean in a couple month span, she went from the talking stage to the girlfriend stage to pregnant very quickly. Very, very quickly. So if we're going to have a conversation as to why women are holding her accountable to this magnitude, this is the reason why.
I just truly think it's time that people stop blaming women for the partners they choose and start blaming the partners for pretending to be something that they're not.
It's funny how some of the women who are the loudest with that message are women who actually don't take accountability for their actions. This woman met this guy in April, and then literally within a few months, she became a girlfriend and then a baby mama. Come on. And then you're going to go on the internet and say, man, I wish people would stop judging the woman or trying to hold the woman accountable for the man that she chose instead of placing blame on the man. Lady, you got to take accountability for your actions too.
Because even me, at first, I was like, I'm not used to this. Most of the time, women are the ones who are, oh, yes, we can't stand these men. Oh, yeah, this is horrible. Men are trash. Most of the time, women are saying these things, and they were not jumping on that bandwagon.
No woman ever knowingly goes into a situation thinking this person's going to hurt me, this person's going to lie to me, this person is going to turn out to be a completely different person than the one he's showing me.
But what would have changed that? When you would have been able to find out the switcheroo is if you were dating him long enough to actually know him.
But what I've realized is that there are so many people quick to say, well, what did you do in the situation? Or you knew what you were getting yourself into, or you know who you picked. And that's not true.
You guys jumped into a forever situation without fully knowing each other, because there's no way that you can meet somebody in April, by December be pregnant, and fully know them. There's no way.
But before we continue, I want to go ahead and say that if you want to watch Rivah's full video, I've left the link down below in the description. So please go ahead and check her out, support her channel, show some love, and make sure you let her know that Residual Impact Podcast sent you, okay? All right, so now we're going to pick it up on our own because there's still so much more to unpack here. So before we get into that, let's go ahead and watch the baby mama's full TikTok video, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I just truly think it's time that people stop blaming women for the partners they choose and start blaming the partners for pretending to be something that they're not. I am so used to people's judgments and opinions and whatever they want to say about what I share on the internet. But what I've realized is that there are so many people quick to say, well, what did you do in the situation? Or you knew what you were getting yourself into, or you know who you picked. And that's not true. No woman ever knowingly goes into a situation thinking this person's going to hurt me, this person's going to lie to me, this person is going to turn out to be a completely different person than the one he's showing me. I think it's really sick that people put the blame on women for truly just believing in and trusting the man that they fell in love with. That's just something that I continue to see, and truly it hurts to see the way that women are consistently invalidated and blamed for somebody else's actions. And at the end of the day, having a kind heart or having love for somebody and hope in your heart and just being truly hopeful that the person that they're showing you is truly who they are should not be something that is then held against you at the end when they completely take their mask off and are an entirely different person than the one that you fell in love with. But that's all I really want to say. Yeah.
Listen, even if what Liz is her name, even if what Liz said is true about us not being able to bash the baby mama and instead hold the baby father accountable 100%, there is absolutely no way that we can hold him 100% without her having the blame as well. Sure, he played a role in this situation, but we've only heard from one side. We haven't heard his side of the story. So just like with the whole Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson situation, we only heard one side, which was Megan's. She said that Klay cheated, but Klay never came out and said anything. We heard the entire story and the whole internet was talking about it from Megan's point of view only. So this situation is not different at all. It's a similar situation to where we're only hearing it from the woman's side. We haven't heard Fred's side yet. So I don't want to judge and just say, hey, we're just going to hold him accountable 100%. But back to a point that Rivah made earlier in her video, she said that Liz and Fred only knew each other for a few months and she became pregnant. You mean to tell me this man had a mask on the whole time and he never proposed to you, but for some reason you felt comfortable enough to open your legs and allow him to get you pregnant? You got to think about that. Like, what type of sense does that make after you have only known each other for a few months? So we can't blame Fred in this situation without blaming Liz at all. I'm sure there were red flags throughout their relationship. That's usually the case in many of these situations. But so many women out there, time and time again, I've heard from multiple different women, tell me or mention or just say out loud, if it's in a video, that they were hoping to change the man. So many women think that they can change these men that they know have a whole bunch of red flags. But when it's too late, it's too late. And then you want to say that, oh, he hurt you or he became a completely different person. No, sweetheart. The signs were there from the very beginning. You just chose to ignore them. Just like this next person I wanted to talk about, who actually made a post a few weeks ago during the whole Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion situation, where she talked about how many people blame women for not choosing better. And that's none other than Summer Walker.
Well. What do we have here? Somebody that has no business giving relationship advice, okay? So she says, stop telling women to pick better men when men are out here pretending to be someone they are not for months and even years at a time, just to gain access to women who are out of their league. Then once they have access, turn around and reveal they ain't ish behind that fake, mature, masculine facade. Just a little boy operating in ashy foolishness who had zero intention of actually being who he told you he was. It was just a childish, manipulative conquest based on ego and low-key jealousy. Now, if I do recall correctly, this is the same person that was okay with being somebody's side chick. For reference, Pizza Hut. She was cool with her name being saved under the dude that she was interested in. I think it was Rich the Kid. To save her number in his phone, okay, as Pizza Hut. This is Pizza Hut giving y'all advice and telling y'all. This is what we mean by pick better men. Pick better men that are approaching you and that are entertaining you. That's what we mean. We don't mean to sit here and say pick better men as if, y'all are actively just pursuing ain't shit men. But a lot of times men are pursuers, okay? Men are doing the pursuing. So that means how you present yourself and how you carry yourself, you may get a lot more of men that ain't good for you versus the good ones, because we all know there's not a lot of marriage-minded or relationship-minded men or women in this world. So you are going to have to pick. Okay, you got to filter through. I do agree. There have been cases where men will get in your face and they act like they're just this great guy. I've experienced it. One time. It took one time. Okay, but when y'all are repeatedly, as guys are approaching you and you're getting what you're getting, y'all are entertaining the wrong ones. That's what we mean by pick better. So if you have a group of men, let's just say we had 10 men that approached you. Okay, maybe 3 of them, okay, might be decent. 3 of them, okay? And then 2 of them may actually be compatible with you, all right? So that means out of that 10 that approach you, you got to be able to discern and pick from that 10, we're just using this as an example, who is best suited for you. All 10 men can't act like they good dudes and not really be good dudes, all right? And some of them are really going to show you who they are without, hiding who they are. But y'all got to stop listening to women that are okay with being side pieces, okay? She will be down for the ride to help that man cheat, okay? So this is about the whole Meg and Klay situation. She would have been Pizza Hut.
I can kind of understand the message, but it was definitely the wrong messenger. Summer Walker? Come on. She had a baby by London on the track. And for those of you guys who don't know, when she initially got with London, one of London's baby mamas, or actually a few of his baby mamas before Summer, actually tried to warn Summer about the type of man that he was. But Summer, being a woman, and I'm just keeping it a buck, I'm not generalizing, but a lot of women tend to do this. Summer, being a woman, thought that she was different somehow, that she was bigger than the program, that whatever happened to London's other baby mamas was not going to happen to her because she was special. She was different. Wrong. He showed her exactly who he was, even though Summer was warned in advance. Then she ended up having a baby by him and made her whole second album about their relationship and their breakup. And it's just like, come on, man. Yeah, you got some good music out of it, but still, you were warned. There were red flags there, and you chose to ignore them. Why? Because I'm sure Summer Walker thought that she could change London on the track. For what reason? If a man shows you who he is, man, you gotta believe him. Especially if he shows you time and time and time and time again, you have to believe him. And this is why sometimes I think women's intuition is a scam. Because women will constantly talk about women's intuition, but then end up getting played by niggas like this. Bruh. And then want to come on social media and just share all of their business when nobody needed to know this stuff because nobody asked. And then you want to talk about, oh, stop telling women to choose better. No. We're not going to stop telling you to choose better because the signs have always been there. And many of you ladies have just ignored it. Be real. The same thing happened with Morgan Bailey. And we've talked about that situation on this channel before too. That man told Morgan who he was from the jump.
I was in a time where I wanted to change my life. I was in the street selling drugs, That's the type of shit Morgan liked.
Red flags. Red flag after red flag after red flag. And Morgan still went back to that man.
But anywho,
This video is long enough, guys. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of y'all for tapping in. Please make sure if you haven't done so already to hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss when we upload a new video for you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And after you like, be sure to hype. Help us get in the algorithm. And for those of y'all who've been doing that in every video, we greatly appreciate you. Last but not least, drop a comment down below because this is something that we need to discuss. This is a long topic, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to it because many of the women around you could be your sisters, your cousins, a female friend, whatever the case may be. I'm sure you know somebody who's been through a situation like this to where they've gotten with a man, they thought they can change the man, even though they saw red flag after red flag after red flag, just to end up getting hurt. You might want to share this video with them because they need to hear this. Ladies who are watching, because I know some of you out there have experienced this. Enough is enough. Please stop thinking that you can change a man. Once a man has his mind made up that that is who he is, and he tells you who he is, believe him. When he shows you who he is the first time, believe him. Do not think you could change this man. Us men will change whenever we want to change. If it's within us to change, if we have the will or the desire to change, then we'll do so. Simple. Now, that's all I have to say for today's video. Again, thank each and every single one of y'all for tapping in. We greatly appreciate you here at Residual Impact. And you know I cannot leave without saying, where you are today is a residual outcome of the thoughts you had in the past. Till next time, peace.